Today we're going to be towing with the Jeep Grand Cherokee. So this one is a 2014 3.6 8-speed automatic, and we're going to try to tow this today. So we've got a U-Haul auto transport trailer, roughly about 800 pounds, and a 1987 BMW 325i, and that one's all set up, good to go. The one thing I will say about these U-Haul transport trailers so far in like the couple minutes that it's been driven is that this is a lot longer than a normal auto trailer would even have. So you've got all of this that you have to account for. Today I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reset the mileage and see how much it takes to move this thing all the way back to Ohio from Virginia. And then we're going to keep an eye on stuff like our transmission temperature, our oil temp, and kind of just keep an eye on things and see how this thing really handles, you know, towing. And give you guys a little overview of that and some things and whatever to keep in mind. I can already tell you one big thing that I missed is that after 2014 actually, Jeep decided to remove the tow haul button. So there isn't anything for that. So what's recommended is to either keep this in normal mode or to put it in sport. And I've actually been preferring sport for the shorter distances. I find that this has a little bit of a hard time chasing the right gear when you keep it in normal mode. But normal mode is totally fine. It's supposed to learn and figure it out itself. And then the other thing is just this has air suspension, which makes it great for auto leveling. So far, so good. In just you know, about 30 miles with it. We'll see what this does on the rest of this drive. So unfortunately for me, it's a nice rainy, gloomy day here, but we're gonna get going and I'll let you guys know what it's like to, you know, move this thing. Another problem that I did come into actually before I even put this down is these tow mirrors, or lack of tow mirrors, I should say. Let me put this down. You can see it doesn't go wide enough to really show you much. So if you do have to back this thing up, it's a little bit difficult because you do lose the trailer a lot of times. And the mirrors folding is also something you have to disable. Otherwise, you lose your trailers completely. So we're staying steady at about 53, 55. So we can check and see. We've got a pretty decent 39 oil pressure, 201 trans temp, or excuse me, 201 oil temp, 145 trans temp, which is really not that bad. And today's 74. We got lots of rain outside, so that's a pretty nice cool day for towing other than the rain, but no big deal. We're currently getting about 14 miles per gallon, now 13 at about 50 miles. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of gas going. Bump it up a hair. So 13. Honestly, not that bad considering that this thing is working pretty good. So 55 miles an hour, about 12 miles per gallon. So a little bit of an incline. It has just downshifted a hair and it's just doing its thing. So now we're down to 10 miles per gallon on this little incline. Ooh, 9. So yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. I did reset this trip to completely document the fuel mileage on this one, so I'll have all the maths for you guys at the end. So I'm realizing that I kind of like normal mode better on the highway, but I like sport mode better in the city. And just to kind of give you guys like an idea of how hard this thing is working, I'm going to show you, I'm in 6th gear going about 52. Trailer's rated for 55, so I'm not going to show that what it can do you know, over that. If you got to push it just a little bit, I've heard, wink wink, that these can handle that. I mean, 60, 62, 63, you know, I wouldn't push it any further than that. And that's not LJ saying that. That's legally the speed limit on this is 55. So, you know, do what you want, but be careful because there's other people on the road. So just know, even if you are able to do certain things like that, you know, be smart. Make sure you're not doing that on the back roads of West Virginia. Make sure you're not using cruise control, things like that, you know, common sense. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lower this. So we're kind of going downhill a little bit. So it's in 8th gear. It had no problem doing that. No, you know, but the brakes on this are sharp. I do have the towing package on my Grand Cherokee. So I got a larger radiator. Of course, no drive is complete without a little tunnel. Yos. Who doesn't love a good tunnel? That's one thing PA's got. And I love it. Although I don't like tunnels, but I like them. You know, it's weird. It's like they give me fear, but they also give me this weird sensation of happiness and joy and peacefulness and death. So they do have brakes on the trailer, which are pretty nice, and they have come in handy when people do cut you off. You know, it's just kind of the thing with driving trailers that people don't really worry about you too much, even though they really should. But I'm gonna slow down a little bit and get away from this hill. As you guys can see, a little bit of a decline right there. So now we're back on smooth roads. Again, it's sticking to eighth gear, and it likes that, so I'm not really gonna bother it too much there. Oil temp is good at 204. Oil pressure is good. Drop down to 49 miles an hour. Voltage right there. Tire pressure is still good. Trans temp's a little bit higher, but not bad at all. So now let's go ahead and go up here. So now we're in 6th gear, going about 49 miles an hour. Got a nice little straightaway, so I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas and see what it does. You guys can see it drop to 5th gear. We're at 50. Give it a little bit more gas. 52. And she's pulling strong. You can see the RPMs are getting up there. It's holding that gear a little bit to have that higher torque. 56, just like that, and it's still in 5th gear. I'll take a little bit of gas off of it. Now it's gonna shift up to 6th in a little bit here. Nope, still got a little bit of uphill. Okay, now it's back to 6th gear, cruising at 54, 55. But yeah, she's doing good, and honestly a great ride. From what I've seen so far, I have no doubt that if you do have to go a little bit faster, you know, she's able to do it. Just got to be safe, be smart, and keep an eye on your trailer as you're going down the road, because if this is your first time or you're not familiar with it, it's just a process that takes patience. Enjoy the ride, put on some tunes, you know, ponder about life, whatever you got going on. But so far, I'm loving the Grand Cherokee for this, and this is the reason why I don't have a truck. I do make this thing work, and she loves it. And as you can see, I'm at 130,000 miles, and when I get back, she's gonna get a transmission fluid flush, because it's lifetime, but that's a whole nother story. You do what you want with yours, but I'm not gonna wait lifetime on that at all. And then I do have some front suspension work that I plan on doing, but she's gonna get taken care of because this thing has continued to take care of me, and I can't stress enough how important it is to really take care of your cars. But anyways, back to the driving. If you ever think that 60 is too slow, just remember that when you're not even towing, there are people that do 60 on the highway all day, every day, all the time, and they're sitting right behind me, and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm so slow. So don't ever feel like you have to go faster than you actually do when you're towing. I mean, even if this can only do 60 miles an hour and the Jeep can handle it, you gotta do what you gotta do, especially around town. If that's all you're doing, this thing is fine. I know everybody's like, get a truck, but this thing is fine. Once a year, twice a year, whatever it may be, this is fine. So we're about a couple hours in now, and everything is looking good still. Let's go to our pressures. Good there. 204 oil temp, 190 trans temp. Now I'll show you guys kind of what happens when you're trying to get this thing up to speed, just so you can kind of see a little bit more real world. So I'll give it a little gas, give it a little bit more. Once I get it up there, I usually like back off the gas just a little bit, and she's doing good. So not a bad 20 to or 30 to 60 there, but you can kind of see what this V6 can do. And we made it. So let's see, let's flip this around. Temps, 186 for the trans temp. Still higher than normal, but nothing too crazy, and it's 81 degrees. Let's go over its tire pressures. Good, 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 good. PSI, whatever. Oil temp, 199. So pretty solid. It didn't really work too hard on this one. And let's look at our numbers for mileage. This is about 2,800 pound car plus 800 pound trailer. You guys do the math on that, but we're averaging about 16.9 miles per gallon on a 456 mile trip. And because of the speed, this would normally take about 6 hours. It took about 8 hours. So, you know, you got to plan accordingly with the trailer. And so originally getting there, I was getting about 22 to 23 miles per gallon on the highway. And you guys can see the difference that this trailer makes. It goes without saying, as much as I love having a truck, I don't think I'm ready for a truck because the Grand Cherokee does a pretty good job. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was a smooth, easy trip. And I think this thing could do it any day of the week, even with a car maybe 1,000 pounds heavier. I would say that I've heard people talk about a weight distribution hitch, and I want to invest in one of those, especially if you're going to do above 5,000 pounds. It's recommended. So one of those is on my to-do list or wish list. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything to keep in mind next time I take this thing out for a nice tow. But otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.